I want to talk real quick about fear, because this is a fascinating thing to me, and it should be fascinating to everyone, in my opinion, but I can't control what everyone else finds fascinating. But I want to talk about fear because the interesting thing about fear, and this was told to me by somebody who did 10 years in maximum security prison and was a hardened criminal that was honestly intimidating and was kind of a scary, intimidating guy. Now, what he told me about fear was, he said, you know what, Andrew, it's interesting because in prison, in order to keep control of people, if you want to control people and you want to be the man, you want to be the master, you want to run the show, he said you have to always present this element of fear. You have to make people afraid of you. And how do you do that? You have to have them always think that there is impending doom, that there's always a threat. He said once you act on that threat, once you actually fight, once you actually act on that threat and you do the thing, you beat the person up or you do whatever it is you're going to do, he said 9 out of 10 times the fear is gone because you've done it already. And most of the time the person realizes like, oh, well, all right, I got beaten up, I got a black eye, but I'm alive, and they don't fear it anymore. And he said they'll lose fear. They won't fear you anymore. So the idea is to not actually go about and doing the physical part of it. You want it to all be mental. And he said, if you can keep fear in that mental state and you can harness that fear, he said, that's how you become powerful inside of a state prison like that in a maximum security. And I just thought that was fascinating because if you think about it, it's really how the elite, how the people that control us, I hate calling them elite. I hate using those words even because they're not elite. They're not any of that. They're no better than any one of us. They just understand things on a different level because they've been told. They also probably understand that EL, words like elite, that comes from Saturn worship. The old Saturn god from way back in the day was called El. That's where we get words like elite and elevated. That's why when you become an elite member, you become elevated. It's all Saturn worship. But anyway, that's where fear comes from, and that's what fear does. So if you can understand it, you can start to understand how they actually use fear against us by keeping that fear alive in everything they do. That's why the media, the news, all of it is fear-based. Have you turned on the news lately and watched anything that's not fear-based? Does that even exist? I don't think so. It really doesn't. It's all fear-based across all platforms. Local, international, it doesn't matter. So learn what they're doing and how they're doing it, and then you can start to understand some things. But again, this is satire and entertainment only, and I love you all.